McLaren, how do you feel about leaving them behind?
It's sad because in the end there's a lot of good friends and a nice place to work. I always have had good time here. Okay, we have had bad times together, but also very good times. So in one way sad, but sometimes in life you have changes. So we'll see what happens.
Knowing what you do with McLaren, how do you think Fernando is going to fit into the team?
I think so. It's fine. They are good, easy people to work with, so I don't see any problem. I think so. They have had much more harder time with me than anyone else, so I think so it will be fine.
How do you mean?
You can ask from them.
Why, you're not very easy to work with? Or?
No, it's fine, but there's always a bit lazy sometimes.
So Ferrari in for a bit of a shock next year, are they?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think so will be okay. It's just interesting to go somewhere else, and everything is new. So in one way, it's gonna take a little time, and get used to it. But I think so it's gonna be okay.
How does it work with the team now that everybody knows that you're going somewhere else? Are you still heavily involved in all of the testing, or do you have to take slightly a back seat?
No, in the last week test I wasn't there, but apart from that everything is normal, and for sure they want to give us everything what they have for me, same than the other driver, because in the end we try to get as many points for the team and try to win the races for the team, so they wanna give the maximum, and I'm gonna give the maximum, so we're gonna finish the season and hopefully have good results.
10 seconds. So as Kimi moves on, the big question is who is going to fill that second seat at McLaren? You tested Lewis Hamilton last week. Has he got any closer?
Oh, I think it's a good step in the right direction, but it's not a decision we have to take yet. Certainly be taken between the last race and the end of the year. I think we know where we're going, but right now we're concentrating on the last 3 Grand Prix. And as Kimi says, he's a bit lazy every now and then. Well, we don't want him to be lazy for the balance. We want to win some races, and that's what we're going to concentrate on.
There has been talk perhaps of Lewis making his debut in Brazil. Could you totally rule that one out?
Well, we committed to Pedro here in Japan because he's the right guy for the job. It's most likely going to unfold that way for the rest of the year, but as we didn't have to take a decision, we didn't, and we'll review things after Japan.
Thanks, Ron.
You're welcome.
Well, Lewis for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Ron Dennis didn't say a definite no to that. So we're all set for Shanghai. It's one of the exciting horizons for the brave new world of Formula One. And in terms of the city, the setting and the circuit, it has all the ingredients to put on quite a show.
While the grand buildings of Shanghai's riverfront are a constant reminder of the country's communist roots, China is a nation in transformation. 70% of the population is still working class, but there's a new middle class getting off their bikes and buying their own cars. This is the most valuable new market for everyone, from car manufacturers to designer labels. The rate of progress is astounding. Over the Huangpu River, they're constructing what will be the world's tallest building to neighbour the Pudong TV Tower. Finding a place amongst the skyscrapers, old Shanghai still pulls in the tourists, but if you venture out of town to the track, you'll be in Shanghai's manufacturing heartland. We've come to one of the towns fueling China's growth. This is Anting, where Volkswagen are making cars destined for export all over the world. Right next door, such is the contrast of life in Shanghai. You've got people living in houses without running water, and 5 miles down the road, there just happens to be a world-class Formula One circuit. That's because in China, these things just get done. Ever since the communist leader Deng Xiaoping declared 15 years ago that to get rich is glorious, the Chinese have been a nation of entrepreneurs. Everyone knows how to make money, and they're very good at it. At the track, binocular vendors can earn up to a month's wage in a single weekend. The powerful new economies of Shanghai and Beijing are competing to attract world-class sporting events. The 2008 Beijing Olympics are the biggest thing in China at the moment, but they also like the way Formula One is an elitist, exciting and aspirational sport. It's only a matter of time before we witness a big Chinese presence in Formula One.
If you'd have been here when I came here to get this place built and get, all the organisation with the government, if you'd have said Formula One, which is what we did, people had no idea what you're talking about. And don't forget, this was big rice fields. When I come here, there wasn't even a road here.
Now not only is there a road, but also an impressive Formula One facility that gives new meaning to the label Made in China.
But what they don't have today is the weather, and even in wet Shanghai, they Chinese love a pageant and a parade. They love a float, and there's been plenty of that ahead of the build-up to this Chinese Grand Prix, the sort of parades and pageants that we'll be seeing a great deal more of in 2 years' time, when the focus will be on Beijing and the 2008 Olympic Games. Formula One is the only show in town today, and we'll have your ITV F1 competition and Martin Brundle on the grid when we return.
F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power. F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.
The Shanghai International Circuit, crucially in damp, it might even be wet conditions for the Grand Prix of China, and all the advantages that will give to Alonso, to Renault, to the Michelin runners as well. It's an all-Renault front row. Alonso on pole, Schumacher back in 6th. And as you look at those pictures, Mark Blundell, if conditions change, how might things switch back in favour of Ferrari?
They're going to have to dry out completely, I think, Steve, or go completely wet so they've almost got to the monsoon weather conditions, because that's when Bridgestone can come into their own. When you've got these variable intermediate conditions, it is definitely the area for Michelin, and with the Renault there as well, they're going to be pretty much unbeatable, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, we'll let the grid assemble, and then we'll be joining Martin Brundle down there very shortly. And all the information you require on Formula One, stats, records, results, previews, opinions, that can all be found on the ITV F1 website, along with details of the ITV F1 competition as well. And in our last one at the Italian Grand Prix, for correctly identifying Felipe Massa as the winner of the Turkish Grand Prix, David Watson from South Muscombe in Newark won himself a VIP trip to the Ferrari headquarters at Maranello. Now Ted has details on this week's competition.
This weekend, Philips are giving away 2 tickets to watch the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Williams headquarters near Oxford. You'll join a live Q&A session with Frank Williams from the track at Interlagos, watch coverage of the race over a silver service dinner, and take a tour around the championship-winning cars of the Williams F1 Museum. Plus, you'll get a limited edition Philips Smart Touch XL electric shaver signed by Nico Rosberg. And here is that clean-cut driver with the question.
Hi, I'm Nico. Nice and easy question for you this week. In which city is the Brazilian Grand Prix? A, Sao Paulo, B, Rio de Janeiro, or C, Buenos Aires? Good luck.
Thanks, Nico. So that is, in which city is the Brazilian Grand Prix held? A, Sao Paulo, B, Rio de Janeiro, or C, Buenos Aires? And the number to call 0901 293 2020, or text F1 plus A, B, or C to 63337. Entries cost £1 plus the standard network rates. And lines close midnight this coming Thursday.
Good luck with that. We'll give you all the details of the results and the next competition in our build-up to the Japanese Grand Prix next weekend. But this is our final build-up now to events in Shanghai, the Chinese Grand Prix. We can take you down onto that grid and join Louise.
Yes, I'm here with Colin Collins, the team principal of what is now the Spiker team. Colin, in less than 2 years, you've gone from Jordan to Midland to Spiker. Where do you think the new owners are going to succeed that maybe the previous ones didn't?
Well, I think, we had to improve, definitely. So I think that this is a step forward. We are associated with a car manufacturer, even so it's not the biggest car manufacturer in the world, it's the finest. And we'll see where the way will go, but we are very positive that we will have a good future.
You've gained Ferrari engines for 2007, but you've lost Johnny Herbert.
Well, Johnny is a very nice person. He's a friend of mine. Unfortunately, Johnny had a contract with Midland Resource Holding, so this issue has to be solved somehow. So this is the issue, basically.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, and as we look at scenes down on the grid, Jenson Button was talking with some optimism, Mark, about the potential for Honda in the forthcoming race, and the possibility, he was saying, of a podium finish, maybe even better than that. What can we expect from Jenson today?
They definitely have potential for a podium, because again they've got the Michelin, they've got the variable conditions. Jenson, as we know, we've seen it already this year, can drive in the wet conditions. But Rubens as well, don't discount Rubens. He's always been good in wet conditions, and the pair of them there sitting there very comfortably and very confident.
And down the years, we've always assumed and we've always said that Michael Schumacher, of course, is the great master of wet conditions. But what about Schumacher's decision-making in the wet, especially when the pressure is on, as it is at this stage of the season?
Yeah, normally Schumacher is excellent in the wet conditions, but at the end of the day, they're only as good as the level of grip that they're getting back. And the Bridgestone is weak for these kind of conditions. He's going to have a tough task today, I can assure you.
Okay, that's the scene. It's rather overcast, it's rather damp, but down there and all set to hijack whatever interviews he can on the Shanghai grid is Martin Brundle. Martin.
I hate to still be a Grand Prix driver, except on days like today. It's 0 to 0 stuff. Which tyres are you going to use? Here's the safety car. Now, they have the possibility to start this race behind the safety car. And right now, you've just heard the klaxon go. They're going out. This being Formula One, there's a spare one of these sitting around. They're going to go out and do a lap and check the track. I don't think they'll need it to start the Grand Prix with, but it's certainly going to be treacherous conditions today, no doubt about it. It's going to be a lot of last-minute decisions too, so it could well be a challenge to find too many people today, but let's try and get the inside line from Pat. Oh, yeah, Pat. Now, you're restricted to 4 sets of intermediate tyres, and 3 sets of wets, many of which are used during qualifying. How's that going to affect the race?
Well, it's not going to be too bad because we didn't really give them too much of a hard time in qualifying. It really was pretty wet. We've got some that are better than others, but you probably remember back to Donington. We had that race there and we did literally run out of tyres then, so it can happen. If track dries, the wet tyres wear so quickly, and if it then rains again, you can be in trouble.
Now, I think Michael's got 2 brand new sets of intermediates available to him. Could that be a big advantage?
No, because they're Bridgestones.
Yeah, and their inters are not as good, are they? So you're hoping for exactly this kind of emulsion on the racetrack, yeah? That's going to suit all the Michelin runners.
I think so, yeah. I think it'd be good for us.
All right, so hopefully then you can score some points today and keep your championship hopes alive. Very few of the drivers on the racetrack. Let's have a look for Rubens Barrichello, who's over here, because I want to know what the track is like and see if we can just get some feedback. These drivers, many of the drivers came to the grid on inters, others on the full wets. What's the right tyre to start this race on, Rubens?
I think, honestly, it's quite safe to be on the intermediate, so I don't think anyone would be on the other one.
And what about visibility? Did you get any feel of that down that long straight?
I was quite slow because I was saving fuel and people were going past quite quick, and the visor you would see nothing. So it's going to be the first 3 or 4 laps is going to be quite dramatic on that.
Well, you've got a great grid slot here in third. It must be so frustrating when you want to test the racetrack out and you've got to save gas.
Yeah, it's. I would have loved to get a feel for the brakes because you don't want to be locking brakes on the first corner or the second one. But it's comes with the experience, so it's all right.
So safety car start, probably not, and intermediates, almost certainly yes.
I think 100%, yeah.
Thanks, Rubens. Right, let's have a look. I think Kimi Räikkönen's down here somewhere. Are you with me, Andy? Let's see if we can get 2 or maybe even 3 words plus VAT out of him today. And he's just putting the lid on. Kimi, intermediate tyres? Yeah. Intermediates. Who do you want to win the World Championship? Do you care?
I don't care really.
You don't care which one of them it is? Oh, I thought he might have said Ferrari there as he's moving to that team next year. Let's wander over Jenson Button over here in, well, apparently Fernando Alonso's back by his car, so we're going to head back down the grid, shunting around a little bit today. Hi, Flav. And see if we can just get a quick soundbite from the World Championship leader, because if he's going to, Michael Schumacher's got so much momentum this last few races that if there's any way that he's going to re-seize the advantage, then it's going to be in conditions like this. Fernando, a quick word, just one word for us. How's the track looking? Is it absolutely certain intermediate?
We'll see. I think nobody knows until we are in the track. For sure, some people take intermediate, some people full wet. We'll see.
But if you come up against back markers, is it going to be difficult to go offline?
I don't think so. It's quite okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you very much for that, Fernando. And looking quite intense. And Fisichella standing over here looking very lonely. Let's just give him a quick bit of company. Fizzy, I know you're getting your head into the Grand Prix, but front row of the grid here, you've got a job to do today.
Well, yeah, you know, we got a good pace, especially in this condition. And we just need to do the best result possible with both cars. So the target is to be first and second. We'll see if it's possible, because it's going to be difficult first part of the race with a wet condition.
So I was saying to the viewers that on a day like this, for a driver, it's 0 to 0 stuff, and it's as big a challenge as you're going to get. I mean, and I notice everybody's more intense than normal today. How do you feel about that? Are you a bit nervous of these conditions?
Yeah, obviously you feel nervous because it's a difficult situation. But as I told you, we got a fantastic car, fantastic grip. I was very comfortable yesterday with the wet condition, so it's going to be important just to be careful the first part of the race and be concentrated until the end.
Thanks for your wise words. See you. Okay, well, there's a lot of tension down here on the grid, understandably. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Martin. Well done. And a few thoughts from Mark as well. Try to anticipate for us what's going to happen off the start line, especially from the perspective of Alonso and a couple of rows back, Michael Schumacher.
Well, I think, obviously the Renaults are fast starting, we've seen that and we know that, but the bigger issue for me is actually what Rubens Barrichello was alluding to. There's a couple of things there. Visibility is a key one, and believe me, you cannot see anything, Steve. You get behind a few of those cars, it's like getting behind a 40-foot truck on the motorway with your wipers off. Cannot see a thing. It's going to be a big headache for the guys. And cold brakes. They're not going to really have the grip level there to try and get the heat up into brakes. So I think turn 1, turn 2 can be a bigger problem for a couple of the guys there who are going to try and make a dive. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. A lot of pressure on the people there, technical people and the drivers. Do they go for the intermediate? Do they go for the full wet? It could pay off either way. But whatever way it goes, they've got to make sure they make the right choice.
So for Michael Schumacher back in 6th on the grid, will the temptation be to be super aggressive off the start line, try to get out of traffic, make what early progress he can?
Yeah, he has to try and make some moves early on in this race now, because he knows that he's got to capitalise on those first couple of laps there. Once that gets a bit of a break going there, he's going to have a lot more of trouble on his hands. So yeah, pressure on him to get that delivery done.
Okay, I think we can swiftly hear from Jensen.
Jensen, last time we had these kind of lottery conditions, your number came up in Hungary. What are the chances of that happening again?
Well, we have to wait and see. I mean, the conditions are changing all the time. One race is never like the other when it's wet, so we've got to see. But it's coming our way, I think. The Renaults are very quick here, and you can't count out Kimi either, so it's going to be a good race, I think.
Is it a different kind of feeling when you're facing a race like this ahead of you?
No, it's just a start. You got to be very careful because you're blind at the start. You can't see anything. So that's the real difficult point in the race. And then you just got to get on with it. Cheers.
Renault have been quick to suggest this week, Mark, that Fernando Alonso there is the man with a stronger mindset compared to Michael Schumacher. How would you weigh them up in that department?
I think that's a brave comment to make in some ways. Michael Schumacher's won 7 world titles. You don't have a weak mind to get that job done. But Alonso, yeah, he's got youth, he's got the competitiveness there to make sure that he tries to beat Schumacher, and he is strong in that mindset as well. He knows how to handle the psychological game, but don't ever underestimate Michael Schumacher.
That was the other Schumacher we saw. Ralf Schumacher, and Toyota had a difficult day yesterday. Both Toyotas failing to come through the first qualifying session. As Jenson Button makes the final adjustments, is the next couple of hours going to see a significant swing back to Renault in this neck-and-neck battle for both Constructors and Drivers' Championships, or is something special going to come from Jenson and Honda? It's the final countdown to the start of this Chinese Grand Prix when we return.
F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power. F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.